In this session, we will understand how the KNN classifier works with a simple example. This is the data set I took. Okay, this is a sample data set having 4 attributes and the one output column, which is the presence of the virus. And in our previous examples on decision tree and naive Bayes, every attribute takes categorical values. Here, in order for better understanding, I have converted and better working out, I have converted those categorical values into numerical values. Let's say fever take 3 values, high, low and moderate. So I mapped and I used one hot encoding to map high to 1, low to 2 and moderate to 3. Similarly, the values of tiredness, cough, breathing problem are also being mapped. And what is required if a new person comes in with these as the attribute values, like fever is moderate and tiredness, yes, it's there, cough, it's not there, breathing problem, it's not there. Our intention is to find whether he has or he presence or absence of the coronavirus. Okay. Different type of classifiers, as we discussed in our theory video, can be used. One such distance matrix is your Euclidean distance, right? So other distance formula that you can use is Manhattan distance, which will just remove the square out from here, and Minkowski distance formula. Instead of square root, there will be taking the root of pth root. Okay, so that's how it goes on. But Euclidean distance is the most common preferred formula that will be used for calculating the difference in your values, right? So how to do? Actually, this is the way that I did. So with this formula, see from the new patient's data, what is the difference? Okay, how much the entities are being deviated from the actual test data is what we have calculated. So just it's a simple difference formula calculation. 3 minus 1, which is 2. Similarly 1, the value for next attribute is 1 and hence it is 1 minus 2, it is minus 1, and then 2 minus and hence it goes on. Okay, so the new person's history has to be subtracted, the values has to be subtracted from the training data set, which is nothing but the data at our hand, and this is the difference that we have calculated. Okay, so it is nothing but xi minus x and yn minus y, that's it. Now you have to square it. Okay, so sum up all the values. After squaring, we just have summed up. I'll just show the formula that I have applied. I have squared each and every value and finally I have summed up. Okay, so finally the root of this is the requirement today. The root has been taken and this set of values represents the final formula, that is the final distance of the new data set with the previous set of entities. Okay, now that, okay, what is K? In a KNN classifier, K refers to the number of neighbors that you are going to consider. Okay, so this K is of the fixation of K is in our hands. So you can start with 1 and go till even the number of entities that you have. And considering how to set the value of K and what will happen if smaller value is there and bigger value is there, we have seen in the theory section that when the value of K grows more, okay, so what will happen? When the value of K is very large, right? So the when the value of K is very large, the system will try to, or the machine model will try to take in more entities into consideration. Let's say if K is equal to 7, The system will try to take 7 different entities into consideration to arrive at a decision. So on the other, so what will happen? It will suffer from cases like low variance and a high bias, right? Why low variance? Because it takes input only from the algorithm and hence it suffers from a very high bias, and the data set is not going to impact too much and hence it. Okay. On the other hand, if the value of k is very small, what will happen? For example, if you want to map this new data entity with only 2 entities, okay, so you will try to find in lot many features among these 3, okay. So if you are given with only few people for consideration, it's obvious that your concentration over them will be more, and hence you will try to understand all the characteristics of the given data, and hence the system will suffer from overfitting, okay. So the result of the model will obviously depend on the data set but not on the algorithm, and hence it suffers from high variance and a low bias. So both is not useful, having high k or low k value, a moderate and an optimized value where you are trying to get an optimal, global optimal is what is required for the day. Okay. Now for this example, I just have shown the different outputs. See, when k is equal to 1, what does it mean is, among all the distance values, identify whichever is having the minimal value. Okay. So this is the cell that is having the minimum value. Okay. Actually, if you look at 2 different values, rows are having the minimum value. So when when you end up with 2 different entities having the same value, it is like you can't that is, the decision is yours, okay. It is at random in general, but if we want to hard code, you can improvise your code to give weightage on a specific parameter, that is up to us, right? But in general it is on a random nature. So if you see, the output class label of this entity becomes the output here, right? Now k is equal to 2. Okay, we are going to consider 2 nearest neighbors. So we already have 2 different values, entities having same value. So identify what is the output of that. So it is giving 50-50% the probability. Okay, no or yes. So whichever you want to consider, you can consider. Okay. No or S you can consider. When k is equal to 3, 3 nearest neighbors. So the first 3 minimal values you need to take and identify what is the output. There are 2 no's and 1 yes, and hence the output will be no, right? When k is equal to 4, again the same formula. Already this 1.414 is recurring thrice, and hence you can take these 4 as your values, right? So when these 4 values are taken, we can see 50-50% again, 2 no's and 2 yes, and hence it's up to you to decide on which is. Then when k is equal to 5, first 5 minimal values, okay, first 5, what is maximum? It is yes, so x is the output. When it grows to 6, again you have lot of yes than no, and hence yes is the output. K 7, yes. So you can see at k is equal to 5, we get an optimum value. Okay, even if you increase the number of clusters thereafter, they are not clusters. So even if you increase the number of nearest neighbors, the value of k thereafter, your result gets standardized, right? And hence this may be one of the local optimum while considering this case. Okay, so that's how KNN classifier works. You can run on as many iterations if you want to by varying the value of k and find out how the accurate the data value is. Okay. Now come, let's try to see as usual. So today I just have shown this KNN classification using a Wine dataset, okay, which is part of sklearn itself. So all the libraries, so pandas for your mathematical operations, NumPy for numerical operation, for visualization, pyplot and seaborn is what we have imported. Now I'm going to use a default dataset that is part of the sklearn itself. So in order to use it, just you have to import like this from sklearn import datasets. Okay. While installing, for some of you, the datasets may not have imported properly. If that is the case, it will throw you an error, in which case you can download the same dataset from Kaggle or UCI and you can use. So now datasets.load underscore wine. This will load the dataset into a variable called wine. ஏன்பா தூக்கி கீழே வைங்கப்பா. இல்ல இல்ல மணி 10:30 ஆகுது, அதனாலதான் படு பா கீழே வைங்க. காதல் அது மாட்டி இருக்கு, நீ குசு குசு குசுங்கிறது. When you use default dataset, actually the input columns will be stored with our parameter data and the output column will be stored with a parameter called target. So it itself already has divided the dataset into input and output. If you use a downloaded dataset, you have to divide it. So we are creating a data frame using the input data where the columns is stored in wine.feature names, right? Create a dataset having both your input values as well as your output value, and I'm going to save it as a wine.csv file. So I'm creating another column called target where I'm storing the values of target, wine.target. Now I'll show you whether it has been created or not. Dataset, you can see the wine dataset has been created. Okay, so these are the values that are coming from data. This is the value that is coming from a target column. So once done that, now if you display features, you can say how many number of features are there. Input features are there in the wine dataset. Okay, similarly, what are the target values you have? Okay, how many class labels you have? You can see it is class 0, class 1, and we are printing the first 5 rows of the dataset as usual, and the target values as usual. Okay, so 3 class labels 0, 1 and 2. What is the shape? How many it has? 178, 30 input attributes, and the output attribute again 170. Now that we are going to divide this data set into training and testing using the proportion of 70-30. Okay, you can vary it as you want. I am using 30% as the test size. This is the portion where we have trained the model using KNN classifier, and then we have tried to predict the values also. And one more thing what I did here is I am going to vary the value of k among a range. Okay, so now I am going to run it from 1 to 19, and then for every value of k I am going to check the accuracy. Okay, so that we can plot a graph having the number of so that we can plot a graph stating the value of k along with the accuracy. Okay, once it is plotted, it will be easier for us to find out the optimal value of k. That's the reason behind this. So how we did? Okay, actually I have created 2 lists. One is clusters, another one is accuracy. Cluster refers to how many what is the value of k. That's where I mean as cluster. Accuracy refers to how much is the accuracy when the value of k is equal to 1, 2 and so on up to 90. I'm running a loop from 1 to 20. So every time we are creating a k neighbors classifier with the neighbor value as I. So for the first time value of I is equal to 1. For the second time it will go to 2 and it will reach till 19. Okay. So and every time we are fitting the data set using training data set. So xtrain has the input values, ytrain has your output value. That's how we train. And then we are predicting the results of the values, input values that is available under xtest, and it's stored on a variable y underscore predictor. So now these results, both the accuracy as well as the value of k has to be stored onto the cluster and accuracy. So clusters dot append of I. So for the first time k value will be equal to 1, and then accuracy. How to find the accuracy? It's simple, like your linear regression or other classifiers, logistic regression or other classifiers. Matrix dot accuracy score of to do? We have to check between actual value and the predicted value. Actual value is stored in y underscore test. Predicted value is stored in y underscore predict. Okay, so that's where we are storing onto the accuracy. I have printed the two lists for you to verify. Okay, you can see the values are ranging between 1 to 19 and the accuracy is being printed. And I am getting an error because already I ran this program and hence the files are already written. If I rerun, you won't get error. And finally, we are going to draw a graph between the value of k and the accuracy score. Okay, so you see when the cluster, the value of k and n, and that is k nearest neighbor, value of k is equal to 1, how much is the accuracy percentage? It is 76. Okay, and then when it is increased to 2, okay, there is a sudden drop down and the accuracy goes down. When it is 3, this, when it is 4, this. Okay, now how to identify the global optimum of this result? Whichever is the highest point among, see, at when k is equal to 1 we are getting this. Okay, similarly when k is equal to 15 and around 16, the same results are being got. Okay, that's where we say it's the highest optimum. So you can decide on whether to have k is equal to 1 as your cluster or 15 as your cluster. See, after that also it's almost ups and down, and when k is equal to 19, again the same approximation is what you get. So the overall accuracy score of the algorithm for this data set is found to be 76%, and hence it can be decided. Fine. So this is a simple way to execute your KNN algorithm and to identify what is the optimal value of k that is giving you the proper result.